What's up, guys? My name is Matthew. I am the owner and operator of Shining Mana Collectibles. It's an eBay store, TCG player store, and a booth at the Vendors Mall here in town. I sell mostly like figures, plushies, trading cards. A lot of trading cards is my main focus, I guess. I really just anything like collectible that like I'm kind of like into. So that's like Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, Magic the Gathering, Mario, Nintendo stuff like that. I sell a lot of that stuff, and I've been running this business for about a year now, and it's been a slow crawl to build it up. But I want to show you guys. I got my files with me today, my documents for my accounting, and I'm going to be showing you guys what I did last month as far as sales on all three of those channels, TCG Player, eBay, and the Vendors Mall. I'm going to show you the numbers, what I paid for, and supplies, inventory, all that kind of stuff, and what I ultimately made in profit at the end of the month. I will tell you now, it's probably not as much as you think. I don't really make a killing at this. I'm still doing it part-time, working my full-time job, trying to build it up into something more serious. But that's what it takes to run a business. If you're ever trying to start your own business, you're going to hear someone say something along these lines that if you have a lot of money, you don't need a lot of time to build a business. You can just put all your money into it and it'll generate a meaningful amount of money with very little time. But if you don't have a lot of money, which is the case for 99% of people, including myself, I started this with $0. I sold some things I had around the house and I've reinvested it every step of the way. If you don't have a lot of money, you need a lot of time. If you have a lot of money, you don't need a lot of time. If you don't have a lot of money, you gotta have a lot of time. So I've been reinvesting everything into this. But I'm gonna show you guys what I did November of 2025, all the numbers. So let's get right into it. So looks like on eBay I had $825 in sales. That's down 23% from last month's numbers. Yeah, I really haven't been like acquiring as much inventory as I would like in the past month or two. I guess I should have started with this, but I'm in the process of deleveraging my collectibles business. I've been operating on borrowed capital from my Cash App, and it's been really working pretty well. But it's just getting to the point where I'm at the point where I would rather have a weekly cash flow of non-debt payments in order to run the business and operate on a weekly basis as opposed to a monthly basis. I would just prefer to work that way. So I'm deleveraging. So I'm putting every single dollar I get past supplies into paying off that loan. I only have a couple $100 left on it. So should be paid off by the end of December, and a new year starts, and I'll be deleveraged, and I can, if a really good opportunity comes, I could reborrow, but I'm really wanting to try and maintain a zero debt for the collectibles business, just for peace of mind, honestly. And I'd rather operate on a weekly cash flow basis, take the money I make every week and buy more inventory or supplies on a weekly basis as opposed to a monthly basis, because if you borrow from Cash App, you might know this, but you got to repay those loans in 4 weeks. So I usually take it out at the beginning of the month and pay it down by the end of the month. And that's how I ran this business for the past 7 months. I was operating on cash flow only for the first little while, and then I got into leveraging, and it really did help. But I'm kind of wanting to slow down on that and just get into a non-debt operation, if possible. We'll see if I can maintain that. I might just end up borrowing less than I have been if I need to borrow anything at all. But in the process of deleveraging, so I haven't got a lot of inventory in the past month or two. So sales have slowed down quite a bit because I haven't been listing as much stuff. If you're familiar with eBay, you'll know that the algorithm favors if you list regularly, among other things. But that's one of the things. Is you list regularly, you get regular traffic. And if I'm not buying as much inventory because I'm deleveraging, I can't list as regularly. So it's kind of is what it is. But, at this point, like I said, I'm just deleveraging and I'll start the new year fresh. So sorry for rambling, but if you're familiar with eBay and Cash App, you'll know what I'm talking about. So eBay got $825 in sales. Looks like after fees and shipping and taxes collected from them and all that stuff, I was left with $512 after its selling costs and shipping. Now, that's not including my supplies or any of that. That's just eBay's back end taking their money back out. Looks like on TCG Player, I don't sell a lot on TCG Player, I'll tell you right up front. I haven't really got super deep into it just yet. But I did hit about $92 in sales on TCG Player. After their fees and shipping, I was left with about $67. So, you know, not too bad. I'm really not that deep into TCG Player. I only have like 400 cards listed, and it's all like personal collection stuff. I haven't bought anything to resell on TCG Player yet. So I'm level 4. I'm looking to get into it, but just haven't made that jump just yet to really get into the bulk game. And let's see, what about the Vendors Mall? Sorry, I got to dig this out real quick. It's kind of in the middle of the stack of papers. All right. Looks like at the Vendors Mall, I sold $91 worth of goods. They take a 10% commission of that, so I paid them $9 and a dime. And I was left with $81.76. And the rent for the booth every month is $25. So, excuse me, that came out of my check, $25 rent. And so I was left with about $56.76, around $57 for the Vendors Mall. Pretty good. I don't really make a whole lot up there, but I do like having a physical location that people can come to and visit. It helps with branding. It's really fun. I stock the booth probably once or twice a week. And I haven't lost money at it yet. I've made money all 3 months I've been in the booth business at the Vendors Mall. So, you know, it's really not that bad for me. Is it worth it from a time perspective based on what I could probably do on eBay? Sometimes not really, because I do have to price this stuff, take it up there. I only live 5 minutes down the road. I'm lucky in that regard. I don't live very far from it. But from a time perspective, it's not as good as of an ROI, but it is good from a creative standpoint. I do like going up there and stocking it and talking to the owners and kind of like building my Google business presence up, because I have a physical location on Google for this Vendors Mall booth. So that's just nice. It's just nice branding. I like it a lot. And yeah, I get to go up there, stock cards, and sell them to people in person. I like it a lot. So that's why I do the booth, even though it doesn't quite net me as much of an ROI as like eBay does, for example. But eBay is the main bread and butter. The booth is really fun, and I do like to do it. So I stock it once or twice a week. So all those channels together, here's what we ended up coming up with for the month of November. So gross sales between all 3 channels is $1,007.34. You know, eBay takes out taxes, so sales taxes was about $59. The selling cost between all 3 channels, so that's going to be fees, the commission from the Vendors Mall, the rent from the Vendors Mall, eBay selling costs, TCG Player selling costs, any fees. I ended up paying $314 to selling costs. Supplies, I ended up buying $240 in supplies, including stuff I'm going to be using to go to my first card show in January. So the supplies is a little higher than it usually is, but you have to buy top loaders. I also bought a case of top loaders for $85 from Cardboard Gold. You got to buy top loaders. You got to buy penny sleeves. You got to buy stuff for the card show. You got to buy, you know, pins and, you know, all kind of stuff. So all my supplies about $240. Inventory, I only spent $50 on inventory this month, and that was for some games at the pawn shop and stuff like that. Just some more liquid items, I would say. So I ended up spending about $50 on inventory. And after all of that, I paid some loan interest payments to the Cash App loan. That was about $50 as well. I deduct that since I did use it for business expenses. And this is not financial advice, by the way. So your mileage may vary, but these are the things I deduct as business expenses. So after the $1,007, take away the $713 worth of costs that I accrued, I made about $295 for the month profit. I'll pay taxes on that amount, $295 for the month, because I did not buy as much inventory as I usually would. So You know, if I'm not buying as much inventory, then I'm going to make a little more money. But there are several months this year that I have posted a loss, a net loss, because I buy a lot of inventory those months. And, you know, obviously not everything sells in the same month I buy it, so it carries over to the next month. And but yeah, November was a positive month, $295 made. That's not a significant amount in the slightest. You know, it's not going to pay my bills right now, so I'm still working my full-time job. I'm still building this up, but the inventory value is growing, and it's going to skyrocket starting in the new year because it'll be my 3rd year in business as a collectible store. I've been selling since about August of 2024, so about a year and a half now, I guess. So I'll hit my 3rd year benchmark in January. So there you have it. I made $1,007 in gross sales across every channel, and after all the fees and everything, I ended up with $295 in net profit. That's top line. I'll pay taxes on that amount, and I don't really know if this video is going to do all that well because, I mean, I don't know if people really want to hear about, like, eBay and TCG Player and Vendor Mall gross sales and data. But if it does okay, I think I'll do a year-end video and kind of show what I've gone over the whole year. I think I'll probably hit about $18,000 in sales for the year. Yeah, it should be a fun time. And I'll start for the new year with the card show and going harder on eBay and TCG Player, and we'll make a lot of money. Hopefully make a lot of money and build this up into a significant source of revenue that I can support not only myself, but my fiance and our family whenever we do start our own family. You know, I can at least pay my a good share of it with this business. That's the goal. So if you want to follow along for me building that up, subscribe to the channel. And that's about all I got, guys. If you got any questions, post them in the comments below. I'll be happy to try and help you out. And I'll be back with a new one soon. I'm out.